Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to the garden.
It's an exciting time of the year because we're about to be beekeepers again. That's something we've been waiting for a few months.
2017 was a rough year for bees in the Virginia area. We had a rough spring and a pretty harsh winter, so a lot of beekeepers that we knew had experienced losses with their hives. We were fortunate enough to save some comb from last year's hive, so we plan on giving these back to our new hive so they can have some comb and honey. They can hit the ground running in a fully furnished hive. When we were picking out which bars to place into the hive, we ruled out all the ones that were wavy. We didn't want to encourage wavy comb building for our new hive, so that ruled out a bunch we had available to pick from. We selected 2 empty combs, so they were just combs. They didn't have any honey stores in them, and these will be for brood that we place towards the entrance of the hive near where we'll place the queen cage. After that, we had some comb with pollen and empty cells, and after that, some honey, more empty combs, and some new bars for the bees to build off of. We thought this was a good order to help them get started.
2 seasons ago, we had tried to save some comb. I just put it in our living room, and I guess there had been wax moths that were dormant in there. And all of a sudden, one day I walked in and it was full of wax moths because I hadn't done anything to try to kill off any infestation in the actual comb. I couldn't see them. I guess they're really small. So this year we stuck them in the freezer overnight and then stored them in plastic bins over the winter. The queen comes in a little cage separated from the hive. One end is plugged with candy. The bees will have to chew through this in order to release her. In 3 days, we'll check back in and make sure that the queen has been released. And if she's not, then we'll manually release her. There's a cork at one end that we can remove. Here's a close-up of the queen cage, and this was probably one of the more difficult parts for me, trying to remove this little cork. I ended up having to use tweezers. I found that when I was trying to remove the cork, it was tearing, but I managed to get through it. Maybe someone out there has a good technique for removing this cork, because I didn't have a lot of success.
We added a screw to one of the top bars to help us secure the queen cage that's going to be hanging from some wire. You could wrap some wire around the top bar itself, but we really liked having a screw on the top. We found that made it easier for us. With a 1-to-1 ratio of sugar water, we're spraying the packaged bees. This kind of gets the bees coated and they're busy licking themselves instead of flying out. So it buys us a little extra time when we open the box. Give the package a tap to get all the bees at the bottom and remove the can of sugar water that the package comes with and quickly place back over the covering. Few bees got out. That's all right.
These are a new type of packaging called a bee bus. We found that they work really well. It's a really easy install. One entire end kind of opens, and I use a flathead screwdriver to pry open these tabs. Once I've got one end open, we kind of tap them down to the bottom, and we're going to shake them into the hive. Now we'll move the bars back into their final place. The bees that we had dumped into the hive were kind of towards the back, and I was having trouble moving the follower board forward.
They'll pick up on the queen scent and migrate towards the front of the hive where her queen cage is hanging. It'll just take some time, so we put the lid on and waited for an hour or two and checked back to see if the bees clustered towards the front, and when they did, we advanced the follower board. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Good luck to all the beekeepers out there.
We want to give a shout out to two of our other fellow beekeepers, the Flannel Jammies Farm down in Virginia Beach, who got us started in beekeeping a few years ago. Thanks, guys. And also to Stargale Apiaries, where we pick these packages up.